I'm Mr. Sirwimba. Okay, so we make a continuation with the civic education. Okay, so this is question 4. Okay, so it has been series of segments of civic 2024. So this is another part of the first one which I made. Okay, so you are welcome. Please consider subscribing to the channel for more videos which I'll be uploading. Okay, so let's make a continuation. Okay, so on question 4 we had the question on environmental studies. Okay, so this question on A went on to state explain the environmental degradation. Okay, explain the concept environmental degradation. So when you look at environmental degradation, okay, environmental degradation, it is basically the deterioration of the environment through the depletion of the resources such as soil, water, and trees. Okay, so there we have even trees. Trees are one of them. Okay, you can have trees. Okay, so trees can be one of them. So you can have trees. Let me write using the marker. Okay, trees. Just pardon, the handwriting is awkward. So we have trees. Okay, so the actual deterioration of the environment through depletion of resources such as soil, water, and trees, and so many other components of the environment. So that term we refer to degradation. Okay, and then we look at the second question. Okay, so the second question is stating, okay, B, name two physical components of the environment. So if you can remember physical components of the environment, we have the soil. So soil is one of the physical components of the environment, and then we have water, and then air as well as temperature. So here we have air. Okay, and then even temperature is one of the physical components of the environment. Okay, and then we look at the third question. Okay, so in question C, mention one effect of water pollution on living organisms. So if you look at the effects of water pollution can have many effects. So the effects can be, it can cause eutrophication. Okay, so water pollution can cause eutrophication. So eutrophication is where low sewage, okay, and chemical fertilizers are discharged in the river. So that causes algae, okay, to bloom and then in growth, and bacteria in the river, okay, which uses dissolved oxygen. So this make aquatic organisms like the fish, frogs to suffocate and die, because when the algae grows, it covers the top layers of the sea. So if you have, for example, this is your sea, this is your water body, and then there we have the sea. So the layers of the sea is covered up by the algae. So when the layers of the sea are covered up by the algae, the fish which is inside the river, it will die. Okay, the fish will die from the process. Okay, so we'll have the death of the fish. Okay, so the fish will die out of oxygen. So the algae basically, when it grows, you find that the layers of the sea are covered up green on top. Okay, they form more like a mat. Okay, and then the other effect of water pollution is the insecticides commonly, which come from industries. They usually toxicate and kill aquatic organisms. So insecticides are meant to kill organisms, and then also it can kill other species of organisms as well. Okay, even human beings. when human beings, they usually consume water, or let's say they drink water that is having some toxic minerals or insecticides, then they will die also in the process. Okay, so we have the effect of pollution in this form. And then on the other side there we have this other question. The other question is state two effects of environmental degradation. So environmental degradation has some effects. Okay, so the effects that we can have it causes landslides. So if we can remember, those who take geography, we have what we call landslides. Okay, so landslide is where some rocks basically they fall off as a result of gravity. So when that happens, basically it can cause damage to people. So if, for example, if we may draw, okay, so if we look at the landslide, mostly like for example, if there is a hill, and then from there, the particular hill, some rocks they fall off. Let's say this is your hill, and then there the rocks usually fall off. They slide off to the point where there is a house, for example. If this is the particular point where there are houses, okay, so you find that people will be killed in their homes. Okay, so landslides basically can be out of land degradation. So if there was a mining activity or maybe anything there, it can cause landslides. And then also we have desertification. So when you cut off all the trees, basically the place will start turning into a desert. Okay, and then also water sources, they dry up. If the soil was dug up and then from there the particular river is left with no actual proper shape of the mouth, basically the water sources will dry up, and then people are pressured to move to more hospitable places. So when climatic temperatures change in the environment, people will move away from those points. Okay, so we go to the other question. So this is one of the other question. Then we have this other one. Okay, so the last question is give one example of resource depletion. Okay, so resource depletion is where resources they finish. So what can cause this resource depletion or resource depletion? So the causes of resource depletion we can state. We have deforestation. Deforestation is one of the factors that can cause resource depletion. Then we have soil degradation. Okay, so degradation, remember that is the deterioration of the environment through depletion of resources. So like for example, what they do, like those people who blast stones, those people who collect sand, if they dig the whole area, then there will be the degradation. Degradation will happen. Then overfishing is one of the factor. Okay, so if fishing is done over and over, then animals will finish in the water bodies. Okay, so for this question we are done. Let's move on to the other one. So the other question is on citizenship. Okay, and then duties of a citizen, and then the responsibilities of a citizen. Okay, so the question went on to state. Okay, so this was section C. So this was section C. It was section C 1. Okay, so this was the section C. Okay, so we have section C. Let me just take off the handwriting's bad. Okay, just pardon me for that. So let's just look at the question. Okay, so if we look at the question on citizenship, we have responsibilities of a citizen. So the question went on to state, explain duties and responsibility of a Zambian citizen. Okay, so a Zambian citizen has some responsibilities. So these duties, they are duties and responsibilities. So there are two things, there are duties and responsibilities. Okay, so I'll categorize the two by stating duties of a citizens are essential because they provide the government and the needed support and foster peace and stability and progress. Okay, the examples of duties are paying tax. So paying tax is one of the duties which a citizen has. Then also we are voting in the national and local governmental elections. Okay, so this is one of the duties. And then providing defense when called upon by the state. Okay, and then also assisting in enforcing laws at all times. So these are some of the duties of a citizen. Okay, and then we have responsibilities. So if we look at responsibilities, they are of two types. We have what we call personal and then civic responsibilities. Okay, so personal responsibilities include taking care of oneself, okay, respecting oneself, okay, and then respecting the rights of others. So these are personal responsibilities. Okay, and then we also have adhering to moral principles and values of one society. So these are all personal responsibilities. And then we have civic responsibilities. Okay, so they include obeying the law, okay, be concerned about public issues, okay, and then also performing a public service. So these are said to be civic responsibilities. Okay, so we go to the other question, the second one. So the second question, okay, the second question is on B. Identify groups of people and citizens with special needs. Okay, so we have a group of people who have special needs. Like, for example, we have orphans, we have persons with disabilities, we have people who are said to be refugees, okay, who ran away from their countries. If you can remember in grade 10 about refugee, who the refugee is, and then the camps which we have in Zambia. Okay, so we can summarize this by stating the examples of people with special needs are, we have refugees. Okay, so a refugee is a person, or these are people, okay, who leave their countries to seek safety and freedom in other countries. Okay, so it can be out of let's say ethnic conflict. It can be out of learning from crimes. Okay, even it can be out of looking for a place where there is much better life than in their country. So those people who seek freedom in their country, we call them refugees. Okay, yes, so I organize the topic about this about conflict, and then from there we'll see exactly on this topic. Okay, so this is mostly based on conflict, and then also the refugee camps in Zambia. Okay, so we'll look at this topic. So let's look at the other point. So the other people who have special needs, we can say people with disabilities. Okay, so the people with disabilities can be those ones who are handicapped, those ones who have no senses of sight, okay, and then also who are deaf and so forth. So such people, basically, they should be employed, okay, education and shelter without discriminating them, so that they live normal lives. So sorry, here it was to be they live their normal lives. Okay, so they should be in the environment where there is no discrimination. So it's important to take care of people with the disabilities. And then the other one is the aged. Okay, so if you look at the aged sometimes they nickname them to be senior citizens. Okay, so we can say the aged, these are 60. Those who are 65, okay, years old and above. Senior citizens need love, care, and security. So these people mostly have to be taken care of, because when one is getting older, energy and then capacity to do work usually lowers as well. So they need at least care from people around, or the government. The government should do at least pay them through social cash transfer. Okay, I hope we know that program which in Zambia we have, where people receive money monthly on social cash transfer. So that money is there to help people who are unable, especially the disabled, the aged, and then also the widows and the orphans. Okay, so let's look at the other ones. So the other ones whom we have, we have orphans. Okay, so orphans, children without parents, need care and support by providing basic needs for them. Okay, so if no support is given, they end up being street kids. So government should offer social security to these. So if we look at Lusaka, we have these orphans moving around. Okay, so mostly what the government should do, they should at least have an orphanage. They should build them orphanages where they should do care for them. Okay, so that's how we can assist these people with the special needs. Okay, and then we have also unemployed youths. Okay, so unemployed youths, basically when they are in large numbers in the streets, okay, with no work, commonly they end up being criminals, to say. Okay, some they end up being prostitutes. So a large number of youths have no employment that resort to crime and prostitution, as well as being street kids. Okay, the youths need a skill to enable them for employment. Okay, so these are some of the people who need special needs. Okay, so from this question we go to the other one. Okay, so the other question that we have. Okay, so we have characteristics of human rights. So this second question was in section C. We had it on characteristics of human rights. Okay, I hope we are able to remember the definition of human rights. Okay, so human rights basically are entitlements which each and every person enjoy for being a human being. Okay, so these entitlements, they are given to each and every person. They are universal. And then also we have 4 characteristics of the human rights. So the first one which we have is human rights are inherent. Okay, so human rights are inherent, meaning that they are born with. Okay, so they are inborn, and they are our birthright. So mostly human rights are birthrights. Okay, so we are born with them. Okay, and they cannot be transferred from one person to the other. They are naturally permanent, okay, as part of the human beings, okay, until one dies. So we are born with human rights. Like for example, right to life, because each and every person has the right to life. Okay, if that person is free under the sun, he has that right to life. Okay, so it doesn't matter whether one knows them or not. Okay, still exist and cannot be brought. So most of the times other people don't know their rights, but it is the right of each and every person to live. Okay, it's the right of each and every person to acquire basic needs and so forth. Okay, and then we have this other one. We have human rights are inalienable and inseparable. Okay, meaning they cannot be separated or taken away or given away. So you can't take away human rights. Okay, they are part of each and every person. We can't separate them, or maybe we can't get them from a person and then give to the other one. So that is not right. So human rights are inalienable or inseparable. Okay, and then the other characteristics of human rights which we have, human rights are universal. So meaning they each and every human being enjoy these freedoms. Okay, universal, they are followed and applied to all people of in the world, regardless of race, sex, religion, and we have social, political, and nationality. So most of the times people usually treat others to be less out of these factors. Can be races. Okay, so race, sex, and ethnicity, religion, and social, political, nationality. So these factors, they bring about undermining or maybe lowering people out of their actual state. Then we have this other one, human rights are interdependent, interrelated, or indivisible. So meaning all rights are equally important and cannot be divided, subtracted, or removed from others. Okay, then so we move on to the other question. Okay, so this is our question 2. We come to an end of question 2. We look at the question we have B, which is explain categories of human rights. Okay, so categories of human rights, there are 3. So we have what we call civil and political rights. Okay, so these ones, they are sometimes said to be first generational rights. Okay, because they were first to be recognized. Okay, so these rights stress the freedom of an individual and urges the government not to interfere in the life of an individual. Okay, so in the 1996 Constitution of Zambia, okay, civil and political rights are found in Part 3 of the National Constitution. So they are found on the third part of the Constitution. Okay, so right to life is one of the civil and political rights. Okay, right to personal liberty, right to protection from slavery and forced labor, freedom from torture and inhuman treatments. Okay, so and then the other one is freedom of opinion, freedom of expression, expression, assembly, and association. So these are some of the civil and political rights. Okay, then let's look at the other one. So the other one which we have social and economical. We have economical, social, and cultural rights. So we can say these are known as the second generation rights. Okay, they bring about social justice, dignity, equality. Okay, when government creates good conditions to allow the enjoyment of these rights. So this category includes right to food, okay, employment, social security, education, healthy, medical care, clean environment, development, and adequate housing. Okay. Then the third one which we have is collective rights. Okay. So these are also called third generation rights. Okay. They are most recent identified rights. So collective rights refer to those rights of people to be protected from attacks on their group interest and identity. So the most important collective rights is the right to self-determination. Okay, collective rights include right to self-determination, okay, economic and social development, health, environment, and natural resources. Okay, so we move on to the other question. Okay, so the other question which was on 4. Okay, so we are told on 4, explain culture of peace. Okay, so if we can remember, this is under conflict. Okay, we have what we call culture of peace. So culture of peace, in definition, we can define it to be, okay, so we can define culture of peace as a set of values, attitudes, modes of behavior, and way of life, okay, on the respect for life, ending of violence, and establishing relation. Okay, so that is culture of rights. And then some of the methods of promoting peace. So we have intermarriages. So when ethnic groupings, okay, when ethnic groupings, intermarriages are good method of promoting peace. Okay, because for some chiefs in the past used to send their subjects or children to go and marry into a foreign tribe, okay, as a means of forging friendship. So this was the old method which people used to practice. Like recently we have Jacob Zuma, who sent her daughter for marriage to one of the kings, okay, of Lesotho should be. Okay, so that is a tie of friendship. Okay, so that's one method of promoting culture of peace. Okay, and then we have this other one. We have friendship. Friendship, making friends with people secures peace. Okay, and there are different degree of friendship which could be created among people of different locations and origin. Okay, then the other one is reciprocity. So reciprocity is the process where two or more different people exchange gifts in favor of mutual manner. Okay, and then also we have mutual aid. Okay, so it's a type of creating peace, involve exchanging help, assistance, or aid in times of problems. Okay, and then the last one we have tolerance. So tolerance, this refers to the way of living with and accepting different or opposing viewpoints, or we can say the acceptance of opinions of one. Okay, so that is tolerance. Okay, so we now go to the other question. Analyze the causes of conflict. So if we can remember on causes of conflict, what could be the causes of conflict in Africa? Okay, so the causes of conflict, we have history. Okay, like what is happening to Ukraine and so forth, but we are not sure exactly the causes of conflict. I'm not much sure about that, but what we can see from it can be history. Okay, and then also apart from history, we can also have history mostly takes up things that are revived from the past. So if things matters were buried in the past and then they are brought back, okay, so that will start imaging conflict, or will start bringing conflict into the new modern society. So if we see from here, research has revealed that historical reasons that contributed to the emergence of conflict in many parts of the world, okay, the conflict between Christian and Muslim can be one of the example. Okay, in the parts of the Middle East have something to do with long-standing animosities. So we have animosities. I thought maybe amenities, animosities. Okay, so and mistrust. Okay, dating back to the millennium AD. So we have animosities. So it is also true that interpretation of history may initiate a conflict between people, as is the case in Rwanda. So we have Rwanda and Burundi. So these two countries, they usually fight over so for so many times out of ethnicity, okay, and then also history in the past, and then from there causing conflict, okay. So in the Lake region of the East Africa, so we have that. And then also the other factor that could cause conflict, we have ethnicity. So ethnicity, deep feeling against a group of people that do not belong to your own ethnic group, can ignite deep frustration and can initiate conflicts between two ethnic groups. Okay, so most of the times people, they don't accept other ethnic groups. So this is one of it. And then also we have imbalance of natural resources. So natural resources are the fight for many things in Africa. Africa is rich in resources, and so many other parts of the country are rich in resources. So the increase in population has too much pressure on natural resources. Okay, so it has threatened the economy, survival of many local people. Such a situation has created opportunities for conflict, as the local people fight for scarce resources available. Okay, then we look at this other one, which we have poverty, illiteracy, and unemployment. So in many third world countries, poverty and inequality in accessing goods and services increase tension that lead to conflict in urban areas. So most of the times it is accompanied with corruption as well, because if you look at poverty and unemployment and so forth, most of the times this basically leads to conflicts, especially when it comes to fighting for food. Because if people aren't employed, they will start fighting for services or works that are coming in. Okay, so these are some of the causes of conflict. Okay, there are many others, but these ones. Even in injustice is one of it. If justice is not prevailed, then conflict might rise. Okay, so that one is one of it, but I haven't just added it. But you can state injustice, one of the factor. Okay, and then also the other one, the other question, we go to the other question. So the other question, discuss the effect of conflict on the society. So what are the effects of conflict on the society? So let's look at the effects, okay? So the following are some of the negative impacts of conflict. So the first one, which we have, conflict leads to killing of many innocent people, okay, especially children, women, disabled, and old people. Okay, conflict forces people to run away from their homes and take refuge in areas where there is no war. Okay, and on the other side, where conflicts take place, okay, the infrastructure are badly damaged. These include bridges, buildings, airports, seaports, telecommunication, and rail lines. Okay, so that's one of the effect of conflict. And then also we have conflict scares away potential investors. So if the potential investor is serious, he has the money and then also materials to invest, he'll get scared to invest in that country where conflict is rising. So such people basically, they usually turn over. Okay, they usually turn over, and then they do not usually invest in such countries. Okay, And then there are positive sides of conflict. Like if you look at the positive impacts of conflict, we have it brings about it makes bilateral agreements. So bilateral agreements, they promote friendship among countries. That is one of the positive impact of conflict, if they might ask you. And then also we have conflicts also result into profiting for the country supplying military material to a country which is in war. Like for example, the countries which are supplying Ukraine with the warheads, okay, and so forth, the equipments which are used, they are profiting, they are making money, because to buy that machinery or to buy those drones and so forth which are used, there is huge sums of money that are spent on those things. So the country that is making those things, they are profiting. Okay, we can say they are profiting, but I'm not much sure exactly